Hi felters and welcome. My name is Philippa. In today's video we are going to review a couple of needle felting books, The Natural World of Needle Felting and Next Level Felting. This one I've wanted to review for quite a while because it's got some mixed reviews. Let's get started. So first off we're going to look at this book by Nancy Wesley, Next Level Felting, Professional Needle Felting Techniques to Take Your Felted Wool Creations to the Next Level. And it promises quite a lot. So front cover, back cover is the back of the bunny, so that's really sweet. Let's have a look inside. Adorable, really nice, just keep poking, definitely. So these are the 5, let's just get them all in. These are the 5 projects. Seal, wren, rabbit, rabbit. So what does it say about bunny? Dutch bunny. So it's focusing on different things with different bunnies, and then the humpback. I love the seal. So I'll show you the seal. I don't like to show you everything in the book. It's lovely to see other creations that she's done. So felting needles, the process, wool. So wool is on this page, the next page for core wool, and the next page. But again, it's not much, but you know, there's some good tips in here. Multi-needle tools too. There's an octopus that she's done. So let's just go through. So the seal, beautiful. Lots of pictures. It doesn't give you sizes, but we do have in the back, let me just find it. So you do have sketches of rough sizes here, so you could hold them up. So that would be very useful. And so quite a few photos for the seal, shading, lovely colouring. I mean, I would definitely do this seal. It's beautiful. Then you know, she goes on to whiskers, armature, so she keeps giving you a few more tips, so that's good. There's the bunny, then there's the other bunny. There's a couple of other creations that she's done, so that's lovely to see. It would be nice if maybe, I would have loved to have seen the polar bear in here. How to do eyes, and then on to the humpback whale, which I do think he's really nice. There you go, you can see him. And then on to the sketches, she calls them, but you know, the templates, and then a couple of other bits. And this, just to show you, this is some of her kits. I'll show you a few more on her website, and she does PDFs as well, which, you know, they're really good. She's got a lovely business. So here's her website. I'll link it in the description below. She's based in Canada and she does a really good range of kits. I never actually purchased this book because it had a couple of reviews that weren't the best, but one of my patrons got it and she gave it to me because she said she didn't find it as good as she'd hoped it to be, and it's really good that I've managed to have a good look through it. But yeah, look at these kits, really gorgeous, and an awful lot of kits. And then she sells PDFs. She also sells wool, and she does workshops too. So yeah, a really good business, fantastic needle felting. Maybe it just shouldn't have been called Next Level Felting. I don't know. Do you agree? What do you think? Have you got this book? Please let me know in the comments below. I did just want to bring in a book that definitely is Next Level Felting, which is Cindy Lou Thompson's book, A Masterclass in Needle Felting Wildlife. When we sort of start to go through it, I've done a whole review on this, quite in-depth into tools, into eyes, into things you're going to need, all types of glues. You know, this is really very detailed. Pan pastels, going through them, going through carding, wire armature, really extensive. Obviously she covers the 4 creatures in here, how to do the eyes. So to me, this is definitely the kind of book that I would view as Next Level Felting. And yeah, you know, she only covers 4 animals, but there's a lot in here to help you get through. I mean, she lists all the colours, the exact colours that you could order from World of Wool. So it's almost like you could, not a mini kit, but you know, you could recreate exactly what she's done here. So this is Cindy Lou Thompson's second book. The first one was all about dogs and was absolutely fantastic too. So let's have a look at the next book and see what you think. The Natural World of Needle Felting. Learn how to make more than 20 adorable animals. Fee Oberon. Beautiful hardback, and it's embossed. It's lovely. It just feels lovely, isn't it? You know when you get a nice book that feels really good. Acorns. I've just done a video on acorns recently. So The Natural World of Needle Felting. Again, look at this. Beautiful scenery, trees, so much stuff. So this is all the basics. Then we go on to what ones she's doing. Farmland, hen, cow, swallow and chick, sheepdog, sheep, rabbit, polar bear regions, polar bear, reindeer, penguin. Uplands is goat, fox, hedgehog, snail, dormouse, red squirrel, owl, and then coast is starfish, seagull, oyster catcher. Interesting. So I've read quite a bit of this. This is talking about herself, which is really good. What is felt? Now this is where I really like this lady. She's along the same lines as me, because bats and batting are different things in UK and America. So bats over here is the big flat sheet that comes off the drum. So this is what she says. This is when, here we go. Sometimes you can source bats of wool. This is when the wool fibres have been passed over the carding drum and lifted off as a sheet, rather than made into roving or slithers. Bats often exhibit the more random fibre alignment that helps us felt faster. So this is why I always go on about carded wool is easier to felt. Although I call it meshed up, she calls it random fibre alignment. Very good. So I shall start calling it that from now on. And she talks about how you can get fibres from sheep, goats, rabbits, llamas, alpacas, camels. She talks a little bit about the history of it, how it started, and then straight on to this page, which is tools. And already there's a lot of tools here, really useful, especially if you are a beginner. Wools, talking about types of wools. The acorn test. To make anything 3D larger than an acorn, avoid fine wool. There is nothing more likely to put a beginner off than prodding fine wool with a fine needle just to make a felt ball. Basically saying when you start with, the majority of tops can be quite fine, sort of merino wools. You don't want a wool that's really fine. You want basically carded is a lot easier. Or even if you had a tops, quite a thick chunky tops that you could self-card. And she says about self-carding it yourself. Dyeing wool, basic methods for dyeing wool with plant materials. And then needles, all about needles, tools. Nice close-up. I never see close-ups of the needles. This is felt mats, different ones to try. Basic shapes. And look, felting over a ball of wool there, which is a really good tip. How to make things smaller and how to make things bigger. Lots of words again. Pine cone method. That's interesting to see. I think that might be about making the inside of something, so making these eggs in here. And wet felting, this is wet felting, so interesting. Adding colour, how to add colour. Texture, I found this one really interesting. So that's just adding locks, that's adding little balls, that's making it bumpy. That's got sort of a knitted material. You know, this is really good. Creating character, making eyes, things like that. So reindeer, so I'll just show you a couple of flower armature, and I wanted to show you in particular these trees. Oh yeah, these are lovely. Mushrooms felted, shells, pebbles. These kind of things just make you think, oh yeah, I could do that. You know, pebbles, so easy. But look at these trees, I love them. Different ways of creating trees. This is a paper mache horse chestnut case, which I just made one in one of my videos gone by. I did it with with wool, but that's great to sort of, you'll see what that's for in a bit. Flowers, so much interesting stuff. And like I said, I don't show you all of the book. So this teaches you how to do a reindeer and the antlers. That's really good. Like I said, there's over 20 animals. So, and what she's taught you as well is how to do the scenery too. So like this birch tree, how to create that. Fox. Oh yeah, this is the one I want to show you. So this is the little dormouse, and it goes into the horse chestnut. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? So that's really, really good. So I'm just going to skip some of that. Oh, starfish is nice. The only thing I wanted to say about this book, which the faces are quite simple, but then they should be, because it's, you know, more likely aimed at beginner level. You don't want it to be too complex, but she does talk about how to make it do the eyelids and things like that. Seagull. So yeah, so all the scenery with all of that. So I found this book really good, and she's got a glossary explaining things like hand carders, wet felting, scouring, the process of cleaning a fleece, things like that, and wool festivals, felt associations, and I'm sure she had wool festivals and textile shows. She says where she sources everything. So really, this is a really good book. So I quite often talk about this book, and I will link the video that this is in towards the end, the Field Guide to Fleece. It's a really cute little sheet book telling you about different breeds. But this was recommended to us by one of my patrons. She said, has anyone got this book? Now, this book is written by the International Felt Makers Association, which I am part of, and they do a magazine every 3 months, I think it is, and they also do insurance if you go to a craft fair, so really worth joining actually. But this book I think was written by them because of all the questions they got. It's really a book for wet felters, but I found it fairly interesting. So understanding the nature of wool. So this is close up on wool fibres, sort of the structure of wool, classification of breeds. This is quite interesting. Fine, medium, cross, lustra, I don't know if that's said correctly, hill, mountain, coloured. So it's sort of going into depth about the wool a whole lot more, understanding the felt making process. So they do wet felting in quite a lot of detail, how you do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Setting out the fibres, hardening the fibres, fulling, which I don't do much wet felting at all, but I still think it's quite interesting. Then they've done needle felting, and this is showing you the needles, the gauges. I think, you know, a lot of my videos cover quite a lot of this anyway, but they also go on to raw fleece, washing fleece, what detergent to use, carding, using unwashed fleece, and then they go on, and basically the fine wools, they'll give you the breed. So blue-faced Leicester is a fine wool classification, luster, staple length, thickness, colours that it comes in. So I just think they do show you, most of it is sort of wet felted items, but they do show you whether it's good for needle felting. Quite quick to form a shape, works well with a bit of work and is soft and not too hairy, needle marks disappear. Firmness, it makes a solid shape. Suitability, highly recommended. So this is obviously blue-faced Leicester wool that is carded out, not because I use it quite often in its natural form. But yeah, they've got lots of projects and ideas for wet felting. They don't show you how to do them all or anything like that, but they talk about nano or laminated felt. So if you are a wet felter, I think it would be quite an interesting read. Oh, look at that. Wensleydale sheep, see how beautiful. Lustrous Wensleydale locks. So yeah, very interesting, and lots of ideas for definitely for wet felters. So I thought that was a good little book, so thanks for that recommendation. I've just got 2 more books I want to look at. This one I did mention it in my vlog, but just to show you very quickly, it's the Collins Fungi Guide. If you're interested in mushrooms and fungi, this is the book for you. So I have shown it a little bit more in my vlog, but I do think it's really interesting. I think there's a lot of mushroom things going on at the moment. Serafina Fibre Art did one. I know there's a really good mushroom 2D felt course going on at the moment. But yeah, I just think this book, it breaks it down into your major groups and shows you how you would work out what mushroom is what. I've tried to read it a bit more, but there's some really unusual shaped mushrooms and fungi or fungi towards the end as well. But yeah, I just think it's a really lovely book if you're interested in that sort of thing, and it's big, thick, solid book. It'll be listed below, by the way, in the description if you're interested. And this one's a little bit different. This is Terrell Whit Latch. It's animals, real and imagined, the fantasy of what is and what might be. Now, she's studied animals and she's drawn, I think, for the film industry. I'm not 100% sure, but some of it's in here. But I just like this for the way in which she turns some of the animals from a normal structure into a fantasy design. Let me just find you the horses. So this one is the night monkey and how you could turn it into the owl monkey. Absolutely incredible imagination. Some of the cats that she does a lot of real study of animals, of skeletons and muscles. Yeah, there's the basis of the cat muscles, the cat skeleton, and how it links into a normal domestic cat. Oh, look at the panda. Here we are with the horse covering, this is muscles, that's the names of all the muscles of the horse. This is looking at, that's a slightly sort of Przewalski horse, and that's the Zorse, which is the zebra cross. But the way she takes the horse from the basic structure and then adds a tail on, and then again here studying the skeleton and the muscles, looking at a unicorn. Okay, this is Duncan the Pugopus. He's an octopus cross pug. That is brilliant. And look at this. I mean, she is really horsey anyway. She's grown up with horses most of her life. The marine mare. How gorgeous. So start with the basic head and then add the extra bits on the top. So just a really different, fascinating book if you're into that. Animals, real and imagined. In my opinion, The Natural World of Needle Felting is a fantastic book. It's a hardback cover. It's beautifully made. It's a really good price. It was £20, but I think it's down to about £10 something on Amazon. So do have a look at that. I think Next Level Felting is about £20. I shall have a look and put the price up on the screen. But yeah, this is definitely a really good book to have in your collection. I will link Cindy Lou Thompson's Needle Felting Wildlife video here, and another video that I've also done on reviews for other books. So if you fancy looking at one of those, click on there and I'll meet you over there. Thanks for joining me. Please do subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.